Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at TheStable.ca.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, day number 3 of the 85th annual auction of the Standardbred Horse Sales Company, and another picture-perfect morning. All the mornings have looked the same in Harrisburg, and you can't beat that. My name is Mark McKelvey, along with Anthony McDonald, as we get set for day number 3. And Anthony, this morning we've been pretty busy already. We've been making the tour, so despite the fact we're getting to the last day of the Yearling Sale, it doesn't slow down at all. But let's talk a little bit about day number 2 yesterday and a few more additions, and we'll go look at them in a second individually. But your assessment of what was a long day number 2?
Yeah, it was a long day number 2. You know, day number 3 through 5 feels like the last few presents you open up at Christmas, right? Everybody wants to go run downstairs and look under the tree, and these are the last few that we're going to look at. You know, we did exactly what we said we would, and I think Vegas lost because my wife said there's no way that you're coming to Harrisburg and buying 5 to 7 horses. And although, you know, maybe we'll go one over today. I was going to say,
it's not done yet.
I know, it isn't, but as far as the yearlings are concerned, it was a great sale, a little disappointing. Obviously, for those of you who follow the stable, you know that we were trying to buy 3 Point Blue Chip's brother. We were the underbidder on him. We were trying to buy a Jim Headsey colt. We were the underbidder on one and didn't get anywhere close to the other one. So some of the pieces that we truly wanted, we didn't quite get.
Right.
But at the same token, we did exactly what we said we were going to come here to do. We bought all the value type horses we wanted. A little bit of surprise that we ended up with Swinging Senorita's brother. I really thought he'd bring a lot more money. But at the same token, that's the sale, right? You don't know. I just talked to a breeder on both sides telling me about how the one colt at the end of the sale I thought would be coming home with us ended up bringing $175,000, which is almost 6 times what I thought he'd bring. Mm-hmm. And then another horse that you thought would bring more, like the Green Man Leash colt, ended up bringing quite a bit less. So you never know until you get here to the sale, and some surprises, but at the same token, we stuck right to the script.
Now, is it, when you're looking at a horse like the brother of the 3 Point Blue Chip, it is a little bit cold. But
it's colder today in Harrisburg than it was yesterday.
Well, it got about 25 degrees Celsius yesterday, so anything was probably going to be
I can assure you it's not 25 Celsius right now.
It definitely
you could literally hang meat in this place right now.
What I was going to say, though, is when you see a sibling to a horse that you guys had, like 3 Point Blue Chip, bring the kind of money that it did, I mean, yeah, it'd be nice if you could have brought it home, but it kind of shows you guys were certainly in the right ballpark, no doubt about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, the day before we saw Pickpocket's brother sell in Kentucky for $250,000. We saw Memory and Imagination's full brother sell for $210,000. Mm-hmm. You know, we played a big role in that number getting there, and although a lot of trainers have gone through this situation, for us, you know, every year we try to, you know, do different things, and we have much better horses now, and to be a part of that family expanding and doing well is cool. It's a great feeling, and yeah, it's upsetting we didn't get the colt, but quite frankly, I thought that was the very top end of what he was worth, and you know, we're here to buy horses that are a lot less than what we think they're worth, but at the same time, we were hoping we could get him. It just didn't work out. And determination ended up with him, so we could have bid here till August, and we weren't going to get him.
I was going to say, you have a lot of bullets. They've got a lot of bullets.
Not the same bullets. Different gun, different bullets, that's for sure.
Well, let's look at yesterday's purchases, and we're going to start with hip number 209. This is Trevino on green, a big colt by Green Man Leash, and this here is the Green Man Leash brother to Swinging Senorita, and one that you said you weren't 100% sure you were going to be able to get.
I was actually close to 100% sure we weren't going to get this colt, and for no particular reason. When I got here, I told everybody this is shopping cart sale, right? So we already had 3 trotting colts from Ontario. There was no need for us to buy a 4th, none. But when you're looking at a colt that I had priced at the bottom end as 60, stalls out, and for 36, many of you know that's a bit of an odd number.
Yeah.
He had stalled, and I had bid once. He went to 35. I just, obviously I kept hearing that voice. You don't really need an Ontario trotting colt, another one. But then when you have such a good-looking colt, a half-brother to a horse that has done so well for us, for those of you that follow us, if Swinging Senorita had to run into Rose Run Yolanda, who knows how much money she makes at 2 and 3, and has been a very, very good filly for us, day in and day out, week in and week out, who's selling here on day 5, by the way, cheap plug. It was really hard not to pull the trigger on that horse. Yes, we didn't need another Ontario trotting colt, but you always need talented trotting horses and pacing horses, but you always want talented horses, and I just don't see a way that this horse wasn't worth $36,000.
The 2-year-old sister actually has already been a 2-time winner.
Something. Yeah, she's
Nancy
okay.
Lopez. So I mean, right there, just continuing to have winners through the family.
Is she the Muscle Hill?
Yes.
She's in this sale later on too, because I know a number of people said, geez, we might buy your filly as a broodmare prospect, but there is the Muscle Hill 2-year-old sister, and I believe even Springhaven had said might be a little bit more appealing as a breeding piece than Swinging Senorita, but we'll see. I mean, it's the old adage. Would you rather a Muscle Hill that wasn't very accomplished, but a half sister to your horse that was who's by What the Hill? I don't know, but both should sell well, I would imagine. And I hope Swinging Senorita does also.
It's going to be a lot of intrigue tomorrow when the broodmare prospects come through. There's no doubt about that. $395, another purchase here for $30,000. Arrowhead Hanover, Bay Colt by International Money, and comes from a dam that she put it together on the track, and now she's had one winner, and this is still a young mare, so young family here, and $30,000 was the price. Was this right around where you thought you'd be?
This is right on.
Yeah.
I really wanted this horse. I had priced him at 28 to 32. I figured that's where he would bring, and that's what we wanted him for. His video, I'm not a big video guy, but if you click on his video, you'll see why we bought the horse. Just an absolute knockout of a colt. He had a nice video, great body type, put together well. He was one of those puzzle pieces. He was a horse that would fit in perfectly. I figured that's exactly what he would bring, and I was more than happy to pay that for him. We had missed out on a number of horses yesterday that just went for too much money.
Right.
This guy, no surprises here. This is what I thought he'd bring, right around what I thought he'd bring, right around what I thought he was worth, and very, very happy to have him come into the stable. We love the international monies, and I told everybody, the breeding is 3-year cycle, right? The first year of international money was very good, but the next 2 years, the mares kind of fell off a little bit. Now I think maybe not a little bit next year, but definitely the year after, I think you're going to see international money really take off, and we were very, very happy with all the ones we've had, and this guy here just looked like a nice colt.
So that was the 2 purchases from yesterday, although there was plenty of activity throughout the day for you yesterday, correct?
Yeah, we had bought another horse earlier in the afternoon, and somebody had come up. Now, it's funny, people know that we buy a lot of horses, right? And on day 1, number 23, she sits at the bar. I've had at least 5 people try to buy this filly off of us. She just was way, 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 way less than she should have brought. As a broodmare, she's worth way more than what we paid for her. And on day 2, we had bought that Father Patrick filly, Zeldy, and the Burke barn had come up and said, hey, would you be interested in selling that filly? Because, we'd like her and we kind of missed her. And that's what happens. We have such long lists. I look back and like, jeepers, I missed that horse. Well, everybody does. And Arrowhead Hanover was coming up later. And I didn't want to just buy a ton of horses and fill that cart that I told everybody up with. And I thought that of the 2 horses, Arrowhead Hanover was a better looking horse, an individual to me. So I just told them bluntly, listen, I have 3 or 4 horses that are coming up. If I get one of the horses that I want for what I want it for, then yeah, we can probably work something out. And it ultimately just boiled down to, did you want the international money or did you want the Father Patrick? And I chose the international money. The last time I did that, it ended up being... I was
going to say, is this one of those what could have been, what got away?
Yeah, the filly, the good filly that won in 49.
I remember,
I'm pink too.
Yep.
Yeah, if you go back, and I said this to everybody, if you go back and look at that sale, I signed for that filly and ended up moving her on. So I'm not a really superstitious guy. Listen, I made a business decision yesterday. I just liked Arrowhead Hanover more than I like Zeldy for no particular reason. We'll find out in 10 months. She'll likely be a world champion, and Arrowhead Hanover won't. But I think he's a good-looking colt, and it was an easy decision for me. It was just one against one, and I picked the one that I like better.
Yeah, and I'm sure somebody watching would say, well, why didn't they just bid on the horse? But like you said, it's a long day.
You miss some of them. You
they
know,
pass through. We go back and take a look at some when you think there's a window, and you get back there for too long, and something that you want to see.
There's a couple we missed yesterday. You know, we went back and looked, and they went for way more than we thought we were going to bid on them. So really, who cares? But then you go back and look at that horse, you're like, man, I really missed that one. That happens to everybody, and especially if you're here looking at a ton of horses, as we were, as they are, as a lot of people do. So it's just one of those things, and it worked out well, I think, for us. I got the horse I wanted. And not that I didn't like the other filly. I would have been happy to keep them both, but it just made sense at the time. Move her on. I got a couple of horses I like here today that will finish that card off that I really like. We'll talk about a couple of them in a minute. Yeah, we will. I do want to take a second, though, just to talk a bit about what's been going on outside of Harrisburg for the stable. Another winner last night. I mean, every day seems, you know, things are kind of ticking in the right direction. If you guys follow our YouTube page, you know that a good friend of mine is Steve Palermo. So that was were you here yesterday when that horse was selling? Oh my God. So Steve runs hot, right? Italian guy. I was. I came. He runs I knew hot something was happening. Yes. And his first horse sold for a lot less than he thought. Literally, if you ever watch cartoons, you see Fred Flintstone. It was just like the steam was coming out of his ears, and you know, you don't. That wasn't the time to laugh. Yeah. You know, but you want to file that away later for a later time, and later on his other horse sold for a lot more than he thought. So in you know, in the averages, it all worked out. But we had bought a horse off Steve 2 years ago, raced him. I thought very highly of him. You talked about Enzo Guello when he was young. We staked him to everything, and he just didn't turn out. He just didn't turn out. And what had happened was Steve ended up buying the horse back off of us. Well, it didn't work out for Steve for the last few months, and we bought him back off Steve again. Just a short group of clients had bought him back. And we raced him twice now, and he's won both starts. So Steve, we're watching the race last night, and Steve, like, deep down wants to cheer for us, but at the same time doesn't want to cheer for us. And the horse went out and won and raced very, very good last night. And we had two winners 2 days ago. All Gas No Brakes won, Per Lucky won. Then last night we had Enzo win, and we were second with Gandalf the Black, a first and second last night. We're having a good run, a good week, and we have a number of horses racing this afternoon that I want to keep a real close eye on. Spitfire's in today, Patrick the Piranha is in today, and then we have two first-time starters. Well, Divine Zed isn't a first-time starter for us, but first time for us in Ohio. Right. And I think she has a pretty good shot the way she trained the other day. And then obviously one of our other new horses, Lindy's Landing, trained very well the other day also. So for those of you out there, a little disclaimer. I'm not responsible for any wagers that have been made on these two horses, but they both look like they're in a real good spot tonight. Noted. Knock on. All right. We're going to take a look at our first video package of some of the yearlings selling today. And like we said, it's still a long, busy day coming up here, although you may try to restrain yourself. Oh, I'm restrained. I'm restrained. You actually seem pretty good, so I'm not too worried. Let's take a look at some of the horses selling today. This is number 524, PA Missile. Father Patrick colt, April 29th. I like this colt. I looked at him yesterday, come back and look at him again today. I like this video. Geez, he's a real big colt. Got a keen eye on him. Not a whole lot wrong with this guy. I'm a little surprised he didn't sneak him earlier in the sale maybe, but PA Missile, man. All right, let's talk about the horse himself. Andover Hall mare. I gotta erase some stuff I had written down here. Andover Hall mare, second foal. First foal was a tactical landing. Any update there? Nope, no update there. Second dam had Global Ice, 219,000, and Andover Hall. Global Magic, a Broadway Hall, 144,000. This is, you know, on spec. Looks like a meat and potatoes type family, but this doesn't look like a meat and potatoes type horse. This guy is exactly what we're looking for. As I said, I loved his video. I like his body type. I like everything about him. This is the type of horse we're looking for on day number 3 right here. He's early in the sale. This could very likely be our guy. Number 524, PA Missile, selling early on day number 3. Looks good. I like him a lot. 527, this is Hats and Horns. We're doing a couple of horses here that I thought would be kind of between flyers and fillers, right? And you can never, don't discount these types of horses. We've always done very well with these types of horses. But you have to forgive a lot, right? First foal from a Trixton mare. The second dam threw nothing, and it was a Lucky Chucky mare. Generally, I love Lucky Chucky mares, but never threw a thing. Third dam has a horse that made 800. Is that an 8 or a 6? Geez, I'm going blind. $629,000 in the third dam. This is absolutely a filler type horse. A flyer. No, this is a flyer. I just thought we'd pull a bunch of horses out and have a look at them. And this is Hats and Horns. I'm not disappointed though. We pulled them out and I was gonna look at them and say whether I liked them or not, but when it came to this particular colt, I like him. He's not gonna bring a lot of money, nor is he supposed to, but he would fit nice in the barn. So number 527, Hats and Horns. I'm a little mildly interested in this particular horse selling on day number 3. We're continuing on here, starting actually day number 3, closing time. Very interesting filly here, another bar hopping. Again, we're gonna try and zero in on where we can find the most value, and I think this is a good place to start. Closing time is a bar hopping filly. Now, the cool part, May 8th filly, the cool part about this is 3 foals before this, and all 3 of them are Devious Mans. Now, I'm not gonna make fun of Devious Man, I don't really know enough about him, but I'm confident enough in saying he's not bar hopping. So, I would suggest maybe a little step up in pedigree in a different line. As I said, I don't know enough about Devious Man, maybe he's a muscle, I'm not sure, but bar hopping again, pretty solid sire, top to bottom. They all look good, they all try, they all do their work. And this is a pretty good looking filly right here. Pennsylvania only eligible, and again, you look down in the second dam, you get Steel Reserve, $300,000 made. A decent family, top to bottom, and this filly right here will fit in with what we're trying to do. You're gonna give her a knock, you'd say, a little bit towed in maybe, but at the same time, I think I like number 534, closing time. Just 1 second, I wanna look at this horse's foot. Here you go, up, come on. Good girl. Okay, thank you. Are we missing anything? I think I wanted to say, this right here is Baby Zet. This is a Canab Hall. This is actually a full sister to the filly we're racing tonight, Divine Zet. We bought her about 2 months ago. She made a couple of breaks at Yonkers. We put the hobbles on her. Requalified her. She's actually in to go tonight at Northfield Park, and this one will be selling before there should be a decent update on her sister tonight, because the way she trained the other day, I kind of like her. So I am obviously going to come down. I'm interested to see what they look like. We haven't had the other filly long enough to even make any, make any notes on what I think about her or don't think about her. But she trained well the other day. I like her, and this filly is built well. Maybe a little short. There's nothing wrong with that. I like this filly, and I like her sister very much so also. This is Baby Zet, Canab Hall filly, March 19th foal, selling on day number 3 here at a Fox Den at Harrisburg.
Do you have an update on that first one, the
Yep.
missile, is a ridge line?
Oh, darn.
She said it could come down, but it's just...
Oh, it's going to come down. Hey, Lauren.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good.
I see you're busy.
We're trying to be. This is number 567, Perfect 10 Zet. This is a Canab Hall colt, February 27th, out of Lady Zet, who is sister to Alarm Detector and Horn Player, who we're selling here. Kind of got Horn Player's head. A little bit smaller, a little bit more stout, certainly than Horn Player was, but nevertheless a good-looking horse. Selling here on day 3. The 2-year-old does have an update here. 7 and 7 Zet. 2-year-old mark of 58-3 on a 5/8, timed in 56 on a 5/8. 1 win, $6,500 made, and this is the half brother to that horse. Walks nice, his video's nice. You obviously you're going to see less enthusiasm in my voice. There's one horse today I really want that's actually out of this consignment, and this horse would be just fine Don't fall down now, horse. This horse would be just fine to me. Looks good, no faults. I have no issues with perfect 10 Zet at all. And again, that Canab Hall is what we're looking for. The Pennsylvania bred horse is what we're looking for today to fill up our shopping cart from Harrisburg here, and this horse would be just fine. Number 567, Perfect 10 Zet, selling on day 3 at Harrisburg. So we got 598 Big Water Stan. He is a Father Patrick, February 13th, Pennsylvania eligible colt. This is the first foal from a Donato Hanover mare. Never heard of Mackenzie Star, but she looks like a bit of a war horse. Mark of 54 flat, 55-1 and a 5/8. Took a 2-year-old mark of 59-1. Just a racehorse is what she is, a racehorse. Second dam is Ultimate Star through a Lear Jetta that made $165,000. But down on the third dam again, All-American Miss. This is just a racehorse family. Racehorse family, top to bottom. So Big Water Stan would be a filler, right? He'd be one of the horses we need to stick in that cart. That'll do what we need him to do. He is a good-sized colt. He's a good-looking colt. I loved his video. I like the way he moves. I like his attitude, too. This is number 598, Big Water Stan. Those pieces of the puzzle, so to speak, Stan might be. Selling here on day number 3 in Harrisburg. Next! This is number 617, Numa's Money. Numa's Money. This is a May 6th filly, and she is a first foal from a Donato Hanover mare. That mare is a sister to the mother of Possessed Fashion. Possessed Fashion made $640,000. Again, one of those deep pedigrees where the second and third dam's really strong, brand new mare. First foal on the top end, and he just makes such nice looking horses. The international monies are beautiful. My only concern with this one is the same we've seen with a couple of them. For a filly that's going to have a lot of size, she does not have a lot of foot. And you might not understand what I mean by that, but when you get a filly that's this big and is going to be this big, look down at her feet. She has feet that are kind of small. Hey, listen, Carter Michael Dio has small feet also, but you do have to absorb the shock somewhere. And if you have teensy tiny feet on a big heavy horse, you do the math. It may be a problem at some point down the road, but it may not. It may not. So number 617, Numas Blue Chip, is a horse we'll be watching. Beautiful filly. Like the way she is in her video, like the way she walks around here, like her presence. She's been out 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 times today. So when you see the horses that are still eager to come out here and walk around and do their work, especially as we're coming on 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it means a lot. Great attitude and a great way of moving around. So number 617, Numa's Money, is a horse that we are interested in here in Harrisburg. Wapiti Blue, what the hell is a Wapiti? Wapiti Blue Chip is up next, number 630. This is an international money. Again, second dam Spider Blue Chip. We've had horses the last couple of years, but Carol Blue Chip is in the second dam. In this family. Man, she's got long legs, beautiful video, pretty well put together. When I look at the front dam, I mean, Una Moss Blue Chip, mark of 54-3 on a 5/8, made 100 grand, 91. Let's see if she got over. No, still at 91,000. Kiss Me Blue Chip, 60,000. Good, you? 60,000. She's at Chapter 7 also. So a decent family, but just a very, very good-looking individual. Big, long legs, tall filly. Really like her. So again, we're talking about late in day 3, international money, kind of a weak-looking first dam, but very strong second dam. I like this filly. I like everything about her, actually. This is the type of horse we go home with. Number 630, Wapiti Blue Chip. Love of God, I might have to change her name, though. Wapiti Blue Chip, selling here on day number 3 in Harrisburg.
As the industry's leading sales agency, Preferred Equine's new online sales portal, Preferred Equine Online, offers the best online service available. Developed by our experienced sales team, the powerful new platform with cutting-edge technology makes buying and selling easy from the comfort of your home or office over any device. Our experienced sales team offers full customer service for buyers and sellers as it relates to the collection, distribution, and transfer of the horses offered. Sellers can enter a horse as easily as 1, 2, 3, with a searchable database while allowing comments, photos, and other documents. Buyers can view live pedigrees, past performances, and race videos. To view the sales schedule, create your account, or learn more, visit www.preferredequineonline.com or call our sales team at 914-773-7777.
By now, you know the name COSA TV, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. COSA TV has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. COSA TV, taking Ontario racing global.
Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at TheStable.ca.
Welcome back, everybody, as you take a look at the beautiful Pennsylvania Farm Show Complex. It's got a really long name, something along those lines, but a great facility and quite the busy spot on a week like this for not only the Yearling Sale that is continuing here today, but of course then there'll be the mixed sale going both Thursday and Friday. Anthony's to my right. He's just coming back here. I imagine he's got us a new special guest, and it looks like we're going to have Tom Grossman from Blue Chip Farms join us here in just a moment. But we want to remind you that if you're tuning in here today, this is going to be our final show, but continue to follow all the social feeds. Anthony, as he always does, loves to cut it close. So he's brought us our next special guest, Tom Grossman from Blue Chip. Tom, how's the week going?
More up and down than usual, but
Yeah.
but okay.
And is that something that maybe you expected coming here, or
I
caught
did
you a
not
little off
expect
guard?
it. It caught me completely off guard. I'm not exactly sure what changed between Kentucky and now. I think that silly article from Garral about the list didn't help anybody. And as you guys well know, there's a psychology at the sale, and once it gets broken, like everyone else is like, what do they know that I don't know?
Right.
When in fact it might have. I think it was nothing.
It kind of feels like people like to follow a bit, and if there's nobody leading,
That's exactly right.
nothing does happen. But for yourself and the group that you guys brought here, though, I imagine you brought a group that you were pretty happy with?
I was very, very happy with the group. I was a little mad at myself that I didn't have more New York breds because I know it's difficult for the fractional ownership with the licensing, which is I'm trying to address, but you know, the number of New York bred horses is down 50 or 60% versus last year here, and the purse money is the same. So.
Right. And talking about New York and looking ahead to the future, are you bullish on it? Do you still think there's plenty of opportunities ahead?
Yes, we're in a new phase in New York. We did get ship seaman passed, so that's been a major inhibitant. It's not the right word, but
it's been holding things back.
It's been holding things back of attracting new stallions and new blood, and with the changes this year, we've already attracted Canab, which we're very, very excited about. It's my favorite female family in the business by Sweet Lou, and he's racing Thursday at Dover, which I'm quite hopeful for. And Six Pack is going to win back in New York, so there's a new fresh air
Some new
in
blood.
New York, yeah.
And looking at Canab, there's a horse that, if it wasn't for Confederate, would probably get way more headlines, wouldn't he?
Absolutely, and you know, I don't want to piss my new partners at Diamond Creek off, but it reminds me of Alydar and Affirmed way back when in the thoroughbreds, where the one always won on the track, the other one was much better bred and a hell of a horse. Mm-hmm. And one with the Cannibal in that situation was Alidar, as was a much better stallion. So
Well,
that's what I'm going with.
Exactly that, and we won't see those results off the track for a few years, but it'll be something fun to really track as things go forward.
Yes.
I'm looking ahead now. I mean, how many, when you guys come down to Lexington and then you come here, what's the percentage? I mean, like, you bring a bigger group to Lexington, bigger group here?
We bring a bigger group here.
Just, I guess, the size here.
Well, no, it's an interesting quandary for us because, as everybody knows, finding good labor is extremely difficult. We're very lucky that we started 20 years ago and made a bunch of our guys legal, and they've been very loyal. But if I bring too many to Kentucky, I got to bring too much staff, and then I worry about the yearlings that I'm selling here running around in New York. So, so we bring a select group to Lexington and more here. And there's no rhyme or reason. You know, this year, of course, you wish you brought more to Kentucky, but there's been other years where it's the opposite.
Absolutely that. And, you know, a lot of people might say that Lexington is more selected. I know it's right in the name, but you would think the population and the turnout would be a lot stronger here. It has felt quieter. I mean, you guys see the foot traffic. Is it felt quieter than last year?
It is quieter.
Yeah.
It is. And again, I don't know why. It's certainly quieter than Kentucky, and it's noticeably quieter than Harrisburg last year. And it's such a thin market that, you know, one or two people missing makes a big difference.
Right.
You know, because you need two bidders on every horse. And we've had a lot of examples. I mean, you guys are the prime example. There's many times friends of mine will say, I bought that horse from you at 40 or 50. I would have gone to 70 or 80, you know, and that's what keeps you up at night as a breeder. But it happens.
I've heard a lot more of those conversations this week than usual.
Yes.
And it's one of those where you can tell someone's saying that with a little bit of, they're a little pissed off, right? I mean, they want to get what they think the horse was for.
The breeder does,
But if someone goes on, has success, hopefully there's another one to follow, right?
That's exactly right. And usually, oftentimes, when we sell one for far less than we want, the next thing is, where is it going? Because you want to get a chance. And the stable shows up a lot in that case, where we brought, you know, 3-point blue chip. A lot of them, you know, brought a lot less than we did, and we look up the results, and Anthony McDonald signed for it. So that worked.
And then we saw his brother yesterday brought quite a bit anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Before I let you go, another busy day today, or are you guys kind of?
No, we have 13 in today, and I think it's going to be hit or miss again. You know, you just hope they. Oftentimes, if you ask me to put a price on what every yearling is going to bring, I'm way off horse by horse, but it sort of evens out, and the final number is pretty close to what you hoped for.
All right. Well, hey, fingers crossed. Maybe today takes a turn. Hard to say, but that said, we appreciate you taking a little time to join us, Tom, and wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you very much, and good luck to you guys.
All right, thank you. We'll take another timeout and be right back.
I've had no less than 3 people tell me about Hanover's good-looking Uncle Peter that is in the sale. Now, we've bought 20 Ohio breds. I'm not really in the market. By not really, I am not in the market for an Ohio bred. Having said that, I do like Uncle Peters, and this is a real good-looking filly right here, number 631 Pelican Hanover, day 3 horse. I see a Muscle Mastiff, a Cantab Hall, an Explosive Matter, but I do not see an Uncle Peter on this page. So this is the first foal from a Broadway Hall mare. That mare is a sister to Pine Yankee. This Love Muffin, I'm missing something here. There's another line hidden in this Love Muffin pedigree. Broadway Schooner at the bottom. Geez, there's a lot of pedigree towards the bottom. And a first foal from this mare. It's a second foal? Yeah, but this is the first Uncle Peter. First Uncle Peter foal. So listen, we'd have to stretch to buy an Uncle Peter, and Amy would have to okay the Uncle Peter purchase because it is outside the confines of our agreement. But I do believe if we were going to buy any sort of Ohio bred or look at any sort of jurisdiction outside of what we came here to do, it would be this horse. Number 631 Pelican Hanover, a really, really good looking Uncle Peter filly, selling here on day number 3. Number 640, I'm a little surprised this horse is, I guess not, Ontario bred muscle mass filly. I did see some earlier in the catalog, and I'm surprised this filly's way back here. This is 640 Winx Blue Chip. This is a muscle mass, April 19th filly. I guess I know why. I can't think of who the horse is that we bought where Grand Revival was in the second dam. It was somebody we paid pretty good money for. I know exactly who it was. I think it might have been the Deal filly. Number 640, Winx Blue Chip. This is a stronger family than you think it is. And this filly's got a beautiful video. I like everything about her. I like the way she's put together. I like the way she moves. I like her size. She doesn't got that like pit bull kind of look to her like the Muscle Masses do. She looks a little bit different than most of them. Not all of them, but most of them. And I look at her, she's got a sharp eye on her. I like her video the most. You know, when you look at the Muscle Masses, sometimes they just look like they're dogging it out there, kind of floating along, and they got nice gaits. This one here's got a quick, light gait. She's really light on her feet, and I like everything I see about 640 Winx Blue Chip. This is a filly we're going to be very, very interested in. I'm sure a lot of people will, but we will also. So the April 19th filly selling on a blue chip. Winx Blue Chip selling on day 3, I guess, late in day 3. No, not late in day 3. Late enough in day 3 to get tired, I can tell you that. So number 640 Winx Blue Chip, we'll be watching, we'll be waiting, see what she brings in the sales ring on day 3. So number 654, we're here on Harrisburg, day number 3. So day number 3 is a little bit different. We're trying to look at the horses we like and figure out why they're on day number 3. So when it comes to this guy, we raced against his brother with Spitfire and with Carter when he was on his game, Herodotus. So this is the 5th foal from an SJ's Caviar mare, a decent family too. Now, what you want to figure out is why are these horses on day number 3? This is Southwind Frank from Cool Wind Farms, who doesn't generally show here. I believe this is the first year Cool Winds has on their own. They're consigning this particular horse. He's a Southwind Frank. Maybe a little bit small, but Herodotus wasn't a big giant horse either. I like this horse. I'm not really in the market for Southwind Franks per se very much, but the ones that we had, they were fast, they were tough, but they would interfere a little bit behind. Now when I look at this guy, I find it hard to believe that his front legs could even get to his back legs because he's pretty short and stout. So I like this horse. What's he going to bring? I have no idea, but he's got enough pedigree to be on any of the 3 days. He's a good-looking colt. There's no particular reason why he belongs on day 3, and I like this guy. Number 654, Frank Leahy, is a March 7th foal. As I said, a Southwind Frank out of an SJ's Caviar mare, who's had 4 previous, one of them being Herodotus, who's already up over $200,000 life, and a really nice 3-year-old to boot. So here's number 654, Frank Leahy, selling today, day number 3 from Harrisburg. So this is number 707, Checks in Limbo. This is a Metz Hall May 2nd horse. Now you may say to yourself, why are we looking at a Metz Hall? Well, this is brother to James's horse. This is Hasty Bid's brother, May 2nd colt. Now I haven't bought a Metz Hall, and I'm not particularly that interested in Metz Hall per se, but this is actually a good-looking horse. So Metz Hall is New York eligible. And, okay, let's dive into the mare. This is the 13th foal. Lady Rainbow was in here that made $800,000, and Hasty Bid's got almost 4 now, I believe, made. So a strong family, a long family, you might say, 13 foals. But again, still making good-looking horses. Hasty Bid was a nice-looking horse. We bought that horse right here 2 years ago for James. And here is his brother. Metz Hall, as I said, May 2nd colt by colts by Metz Hall, and nice good-looking colt. 707, Checks in Limbo. Oh, that's all right, ma'am. Checks in Limbo, selling here on day number 3 in Harrisburg.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Harrisburg as we're getting set for day number 3 of the now 85th annual auction of the Standardbred Horse Sales Company. Yearling Sale rolls on, and we have another special guest as we're joined by Dr. Ian Moore. And Doc, I have to ask you off the top because my producer is right behind the camera, Mr. Cujo himself. Star pitcher of the Cujo Cubs. But we missed you. You were a little inconsistent with your attendance this season. You know, the horses will be fine. We need you out there on the mound.
Well, no, we raced a lot of young horses this year, and I had to be there with them, I guess. So I did miss a few games, but That was the only reason, not for anything else. We're looking forward to next year, and I will be playing in the Winter League in Florida as well.
Oh, you stay sharp because you get to play year-round. You're going to Florida from here. Is that always how you do it? Wait till Harrisburg and then head south?
Yeah, we used to drive down on the auto train, they call it, the Amtrak auto train, which went from Loudon, Virginia, down to Sanford, about 25 minutes from the training center. And in recent years now, we fly ourselves down from here.
Now, you were telling me that you were looking to cut back a little bit. You've purchased a couple here this week. How many babies are you going to have in training in total this winter?
Should be about 12, I guess, babies, and 6 that we kept over, including Stockade Sealster, who they want to race as a 4-year-old next year.
Well, that's good news. That's good to hear. We were talking before we came on that his season's not done just yet. There's still potential for another stakes engagement, but he's had a year that I'm not sure he's probably gotten the respect he completely deserves because, boy, he shows up. He fights.
Yeah, he's been a bit inconsistent at times, and it seems like the trend is, after seeing what happened last week in Indiana, that if he's on the front end and it's a bit slow, like 55 instead of 53 or 54 to the half, that's when he tends to get beat. If he's down the road with a good half and they got to chase him to keep up, he seems to be a lot better. So maybe we'll try a different tactic next week. He's a hard horse to drive. He's not one that you can sit in a hole and just two-finger him and whatever. Sometimes you have to do what he wants to do. And both Jody and Dave have done a great job with him.
I thought his effort in the Breeders' Crown Final was tremendous, the way he hung in there. I mean, Confederate it's been on a different level all season long of everybody, but the way that he dug in there, were you pleased with that effort?
Yeah, for sure. I think we got the most out of that we could get. Confederate, it does seem to be on a different level, that's for sure. But the week before, in the elimination, I guess Timmy had told Dave that was the first time he had to pull the plugs on Confederate. Then we were second to him that night as well, so that's good. I like that.
Absolutely. Well, as you come to these yearling sales, you've had so much success, and in recent years, you've had just a great wealth of success with these pacing colts. What were you looking for here this week?
Well, I wasn't looking for a whole lot. It's been a little bit different sale for me. Typically, Harrisburg is the one that we buy the bulk of our yearlings from, Harrisburg and London. And this year, I went to Lexington to look at one baby, one out of Percy Blue Chip, a mare that we used to have a few years back, and I ended up with 5 out of there after not having any from Lexington in the last 2 or 3 years. Okay. So, and we picked up some for about 4 in London as well. So we're only going to get about 3 or 4 out of here, and the 4th one will be dependent on whether I get one more style in Florida or not. So if not, I'll probably, if I do buy a 4th one, I'll probably send that one up to Tyler, my son, in Ontario.
Now, as we look ahead towards next season, your group of 2-year-olds this year, what'd you make of them?
We had a really good bunch of 2-year-olds this year. They all qualified and/or raced. I had 16 last year in Florida, and I was very, very pleased with them. We had 3, which included Clever Cody, the Ohio bred, Storm Shadow, the 2-year-old that made the Breeders' Crown this year, and Odds on Platinum, who did well in the Golds this year, that made over $1 million. I've never had that happen before, so we're very, very pleased with them.
Well, we appreciate taking a little time to join us. A little jealous that you get to now head to Florida, and we're heading back north here later today, but I'm sure it'll be a good winter, and best of luck with Stockade Sealster next week.
Well, thanks very much, and if you ever head south, look us up. You're welcome to stay anytime.
Well, I'd like to come check out one of those winter ball games, just see how they play down there.
Bring Cujo with you, and we'll get you signed up. Most of them are 80 years old, but I'd be one of the younger ones on the team at 70.
All right, well, I like our chances there. Thanks, Doc. Enjoy the winter, and we're going to check out another package of yearlings and come right back.
743 Woodrow Handover. This is a day 3 horse. We're rolling through some day 3 horses. Now, obviously, they're not day 1 horses, and there's a scattered bunch of day 2 horses, but they're day 2. The day 3 horses either a little light on pedigree, or maybe their videos weren't good, or maybe they're a little rough around the edges. This guy looks like the far ladder, a little rough around the edges. That left hind leg looks like he had kicked something or got caught up in something. A little scrape on his right hind. None of this stuff is important. It's all superficial. But, and then when you also factor in, this is the 13th foal, this is probably the day this guy's supposed to be on. But the family itself is a very good family. Windborn Hanover, 277, Muscle Mastiff, 37 wins. Where to Hanover, 54-2. 245,000, 21 wins. So one of those meat and potato type families, right? Meat and potatoes, as we like to say it, just do their work and get the job done. And I love the international monies. Now just checking to see quick if there's any more international monies. I see a Cantab, an Andover, a Donato, a Donato, and a Muscle Massive that I can see. So I believe, I'm confident in saying that this is the first international money foal out of this mare. So Woodrow Handover, again, good looking horse, nice looking body, a little rough around the edges, nothing wrong with that. But a really good looking horse nevertheless. Day 3, this is Woodrow Handover, selling, I think, later in the sale on day number 3.
For those of you that were following close yesterday at the sale, you'll know that we actually did buy a Father Patrick filly, and then I ended up selling her partway through the sale. I actually traded her out for a horse that I liked more, to be honest. It's 10 months out. How the hell do you know? No one knows. So it just made all the sense in the world. Look at that one over there. It just made all the sense in the world to do at the time, and I certainly don't regret it. Now, it's a funny story. That filly was a Father Patrick filly out of a mare named Looking for Zelda. Well, this right here is a Father Patrick colt, a Father Patrick colt who is a brother to Looking for Zelda. So a pretty interesting look there. There's only 7 foals in his family, so this is the 8th foal. His sister made 440,000, who is Looking for Zelda. And quite frankly, a really, really good looking colt. This thing is crazy. So number 750. Pachyderm, I think is how you say that. Pachyderm, selling here. We came here to look at one horse and ended up finding a pachyderm. This is number 750 Pachyderm, selling today, day number 3, here in Harrisburg. Thank you. He's nice too. He's a nice colt too, that colt. Little
Number 780, Elfin. You can hear the auction going on behind us. Elfin, my God. I'll be honest, a smaller filly, a goo-goo gaga, very straight, but smaller filly. And you do yourself a favor, go watch her video. A really, really nice video, and she looks much bigger in her video than she does in real life. That's not a big deal. I would say she's maybe the same size, at least, as Melisandre, the filly we bought by Chimpanzee in Lexington. And this is another Kentucky eligible Lexington only filly. Man, she looks really, really nice and has clearly has a beautiful gait. When you see her video, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I am interested. A little small, but I am interested in Elfin. In May 18th, there's another reason, a May 18th filly selling here on day 3 in Harrisburg.
Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at TheStable.ca.
As the industry's leading sales agency, Preferred Equine's new online sales portal, Preferred Equine Online, offers the best online service available. Developed by our experienced sales team, the powerful new platform with cutting-edge technology makes buying and selling easy from the comfort of your home or office over any device. Our experienced sales team offers full customer service for buyers and sellers as it relates to the collection, distribution, and transfer of the horses offered. Sellers can enter a horse as easily as 1, 2, 3 with a searchable database while allowing comments, photos, and other documents. Buyers can view live pedigrees, past performances, and race videos. To view the sales schedule, create your account, or learn more, Visit www.preferredequineonline.com or call our sales team at 914-773-7777.
Oh, we got racing today.
And we are back here as TheStable.ca's coverage. The Harrisburg sale continues, and back to wrap things up for our live coverage this week. Day number 3 is going to get underway in about 5 minutes time. It is warmed up a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. But it's probably going to be, I think, maybe a little busier here today. I don't know why, but it feels like there's a little more traffic.
You know, you guys didn't stick around. Did you stick around for the last day? We did a show on the last day at Lexington, right?
Yep.
But you didn't stay right up until the sale, did you?
Well, it started and then we left.
Yeah. It's much like that. Like I've ran into 2 or 3 people that are asking about the fillies that we're selling as broodmares, right? And they have the day 2 book open already. It's a different crowd because there are some people sitting around looking for yearlings that are tasty, as we are also. Yep. But a lot of the crowd coming in wants to get a head start on looking at the broodmares, looking at the weanlings, looking at maybe the other horses that are regionally horses that are selling tomorrow. It's definitely a different vibe though. You're right.
Yeah.
Like you see a lot of Amish people, like behind us in the shot right there. See?
Just a few. All right. As we wrap things up here, we've talked about how the week's gone so far, what might get added here today. What are our numbers at here for babies?
Total?
Total.
If I'm not mistaken, we're at 51 right now. And every year we'll have a couple of breeders that will message and say, hey, I had a horse that got hurt, or I had a horse I kept out of the sale. And in fact, the original model for TheStable.ca was, you know, hustling and trying to get people, breeders, to send us horses. Hey, if you think your horse is worth 20 and it only goes for 12, send it to us, see if we can work with you to get that done. That was the original pitch for TheStable. So we still do have breeders that do send us horses, and so we might have 51 today. Now, as long as Amy keeps that leash on me and I don't get it free, we'll end up at 52.
Yep.
If we end up at 52, that will probably swell to 55. I think last year we had 61. You know, we're always around the same, between, you know, 48 and, well, the one year we had 70. Between 48 and 62, I think, is usually where we hang out for now. So we're right, as I said, I had zero stress when I came here. It was a great feeling, first time in my life to come to Harrisburg and not worry about a million other things that were going on in my life, and trying to figure out how we were going to get and fund the horses for Harrisburg. This was the first year where I came here saying, hey, where are we going to supper on day 1? It just, the stress level was different, and I had just a wonderful sale. Yes, I was a little bummed out that we didn't get the horses, the real horses we really wanted yesterday, but that's racing. And we did get some really, really nice quality horses on day 1.
Yeah.
Obviously, we got the filly, the first filly, the bar hopping filly that, you know, just from the people coming up to me wanting to buy her or buy into her, I know that we did a good thing there. The muscle mass sister to Warwick Michelle, where yes, you know, pretty easy again. I hit another breeder as we were waiting. When you were talking, Ian Moore come up to me and say, hey, the muscle mass filly on day 1, if you guys want to work something out, we'd love to buy into her, but we want to have a crack at her when you're done racing her. So the long game for these breeders is still on display. The colt I love, this was probably the centerpiece for us so far, I think, has been that Chapter 7 colt on day 1.
Yep.
Grand old chap, love him. And then the filly out of a sister to Sintra, for a number of reasons. We're getting swarmed. For a number of reasons, meant a lot too. I like that horse. So we've done what we wanted to do. Maybe not the way I thought it would play out, but definitely more than happy to say that we got what we wanted when we came to Harrisburg, and we're not done yet. We still got 1 or 2 more to go, and then we're selling 3 as sellers. We're selling 3 later on, and obviously keeping an eye on what's racing today. I was a little surprised. I opened up the Stable app, and 9 horses we have racing today.
Busy Wednesday.
Yeah, in a number of different jurisdictions. So a lot of horses to watch in the ring, a lot of horses to go and look at later on, and a lot of horses to watch today race throughout.
Quickly before we wrap things up, these Harrisburg horses, now you guys get down to business pretty quickly. But what about that group from Lexington and from the other sales? How long?
Oh, great. You know, just so lucky. The people behind the scenes, I feel bad when the camera goes off. I'm like, I forgot to thank everybody. You know, we've been so lucky to have Jason Merriman has come on our staff last year. He's taken a real major role in helping break the babies in Lexington. Lauren Harmon, everybody knows Lauren, does a great job driving. She's a mainstay in the barn and works her butt off. Jason McGinnis is always around, also does a great job in the barn. All our caretakers, our trainers, Harry or Dominic or Mario or everybody that plays a role at the stable. I can't thank them enough because, you might see me talking and we do a great show and I might buy some babies, but when everything ends, the people behind the scenes are the ones that really make the stable and make the stable, right? Whether it's Kelly doing the social stuff, or you, or Curtis, or Wendy doing the books. Everybody plays a major role in a stable that's become a major stable.
Absolutely. Well, I think we're probably going to have an open house in about a month's time, so we'll have a good chance to really check in on these babies.
Yep, we will.
Do you notice much difference between the Harrisburg and the Lexington ones? I mean, obviously they're starting a little bit later, but is it almost they kind of catch up a little quicker?
They have to, right? It's almost like you missed a couple of days of school.
Right.
You still got to catch up on the homework. You don't get to lag. So these guys, we don't have a whole lot of work into the other ones. They've only been broken jogging, so they've missed a couple of weeks of jogging. But for the most part, they've done their work, and the ones from Lexington, and these guys will get broke and start jogging.
Yep.
When you really factor it in, 2 weeks of 2 miles a day or whatnot, it's not a big deal. They'll catch up pretty quick.
Absolutely. Well, like I mentioned, there's going to be an open house coming up early to mid-December. We'll finalize those dates and get that out to everybody very soon. But once again, thanks for joining us all week long. It's been a blast here in Harrisburg. Day number 3 is underway. Anthony, Amy, just want to thank you guys. Lots of fun coming down for these sales. We really do enjoy it.
Now, we just extended your contract for another 2 years. So it's 2 more years of Mark McKelvey.
All right, perfect. I'm really happy to hear that. We can talk about bonuses and everything else a little bit later on. Thanks, Anthony. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Enjoy your Wednesday, and we'll chat again soon.
Own a little and love it a lot. TheStable.ca is an award-winning fractional ownership operation. Buy as little as 1% of a racehorse and experience 100% of the thrill. TheStable.ca makes ownership easy, accessible, and affordable. Communication and customer service are at the heart of everything we do. Get started at TheStable.ca.